Alright, so yo, this is our first video. This is actually like the beginning of the rest of our lives. Maybe the first of many, who knows?
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm just gonna go ahead and start with what I guess I was gonna.
Yeah, just do it.
Let's go.
Yeah,
I want to start with with what's like going on in this day and age, and like I think there's like this huge I think there's a huge emphasis on like this like great separation that's happening, and like we all can feel it, we can see it, we can taste it. We see like separations politically, we see this great divide between the right and the left, we see great separation in like religious systems. People are turning away from like the religion of like their parents and turning to a more spiritual life path. People are actually like just accepting new ways of doing things, and like in a way it's a scary thing because it brings the idea of like this great reset, you know, this great reset when things are get a lot worse before they get a lot better, I guess some people might think. And yeah, so like, but I think all of this is to say like we're in interesting times, you know, we're in a interesting times. So let's say like, why are these times happening? I think I'd start with like talking about the transitioning of the ages, right? The ages like of Pisces, which is like what, from the time Christ died until 2000. That was the age of Pisces, right? And like inside that age, it was kind of built on like a blind obedience, and you know, and faith over knowledge, right? And like it created these like religious systems that became oppressive, you know, and people just kind of went with the flow. Like when you think of Pisces, think of like a fish just flowing with the current of water, right? And now that since 2000 AD, like we've moved into like the age of Aquarius, right? The age of Aquarius is kind of built on like individual sovereignty, you know, and self-knowledge over
obedience.
Yeah, self-knowledge over obedience, you know, like we're not just like obeying like the old way of doing things, you know, we're actually trying new things. And also inside the system, like people are actually going to be becoming more in tune with their own like individual purpose, and they get to initiate that into the world and actually see proof of it. I mean, no, see the fruition of that. Whereas in the age of Pisces, like transformation was not rewarded, you know, stepping out of like out from the stream, the mainstream was not rewarded. But in this time period, it will be, you know.
That really made me think of school.
Yeah.
And so in classical education, you learn about 3 stages of actual intellect, and the middle is dialectic, where you're starting to ask the questions. And it sounds a lot like that age of Aquarius, where you're actually starting to reap the benefits of the knowledge that you've obtained in your life. So like we as a society have come to a place where we like have seen the patterns in all of these years, and now we're actually able to piece them together and say what benefits us, what doesn't.
All right.
Shed the skin of just duty. And
yes. But yeah, with these 2 ages, I think they speak to like this like old earth and a new earth. Let's start using these terms instead, right? Let's start using like these terms where like the old way and the new way, the new world, old world, new earth, old earth. The old earth is what we're coming out of, right? This system, that the old way that like actually like rewarded effort, you know, and then the new way that rewards alignment, energetic alignment. The new earth rewards energetic alignment. And like when I think of the new earth, I think of this like mystical world built on frequency, you know, because like the matter isn't gonna really change. You know, the structures are actually like the physical structures aren't gonna change, but like our frequency and how we're seeing it is gonna change. You know, like when we see an opportunity, we're not gonna be like, man, I gotta work so hard to get that. Now in the new earth, this new earth thinking, it's gonna be like, wow, like this could be mine if I so choose for it to be mine. Like how do I match the frequency of it being mine now? You know, that thinking starts to run the show. You know, that thinking is rewarded, and yes.
And how do you start thinking like that? How do you start moving into that? How did you do it?
Well, the thing about how you start moving into it. Oh, I want to talk about this. All right, so like when you talk about the new earth, right? I was raised in Christianity, you know? So, like, Christianity, like, we are always, in Christianity, we're waiting on Jesus to come back, you know? We're waiting for Christ to come and rapture us, right? And, like, I kind of, like, I used to take that literally. And I used to, like, kind of have, like, dreams about, like, Jesus coming back. And then I wouldn't get raptured because, like, I was a bad kid, you know? But, I mean, nowadays, when I think about that is, like, there's this idea that really connected the dots for me. It was Christ consciousness, right? And like the Jesus coming back is the Christ thinking, the Christ mind coming back, you know? And in order to see the new world, we have to have this new mind, right? And like I see religions over the course of all time are always kind of building up this mind to be able to see, to be able to think like this, you know? And so like yeah, I think that's like actually the beginning of like really stepping into like this new earth, right? But also with that, I want to bring into like identity shifting, because like inside of this new earth, like what is our purpose, you know? If you can't just be given a label inside of this new earth and like in this operating out of that label that was given to you, like that's the old system. It's not going to convert over well. You will be a slave indefinitely with that. But with identity shifting, you're actually you're separating yourself, and you're saying like, who do I want to be? What are the longings of my heart? Um, what do I want to see achieved through my life, through my passion, through my purpose, obviously. And like that is what's gonna usher you into the new earth. Um, and that's what I feel like Gods&Men is about. Is like the men becoming gods in order to be these like godly men again, you know? Like, do you want to be like a god among people, you know, in your own way? God among men, and or a goddess among men. Um, and how do we do that? I think identity shifting is gonna be like the key to operating in this new earth. So yeah, like welcome to the new earth if you so choose to be here. But if you don't, if you want to stick to the system of effort because it works for you, it's all that you know. It makes me think of this story. It was actually written. It was recorded by Josephus. Josephus, right? Josephus. He was this Jewish historian, right? He was a Jewish historian, and he wrote it in 70 A.D. He talked about the second temple falling, right? When the Jews saw their temples falling because like the Romans set fire to it, right? Like there's people that they saw like this old way, they saw all of their tradition, they saw their heritage, and they saw this burning temple, and they literally rushed in to try to like to find refuge in there into a burning, like, you know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. But at the same time, I believe that people are gonna like rush back into like this old way because they find some sense of safety in it, you know? And like they will crumble beneath that system that they're trying to salvage, you know? Because like it's not meant to exist in the new world. It's not meant to benefit the people. It's not meant to benefit your ultimate sovereignty.